Today we can learn how to install Microsoft Adventurework database. Step 1, go to your search engine, type in Adventurework database, click on the first link. When you get to here, you can install the exe. But the downside, the exe, you have to enter your first name and last name and so some other information before you can download. I recommend that you should download the backup file, the .bak file. So there are 3 different types of Adventurework. Basically, Adventurework is a sample database that Microsoft makes allow you to write query like select, where, group by, haven, and window function. So if you want to download the regular database, you select the OLTP. You want to download the data warehouse, then select this. The OLTP is the regular database, in like mode of the e-commerce and banking system. The data warehouse database is meant for faster data retrieval. It usually store the data in a star schema. Basically, you have the cell amount in the middle, and the date on the left hand side, then the region, and so on around it. So that's what I call a star schema. So each of the Adventurework database for specific SQL Server. So this is for SQL Server 2025, SQL Server 2022, and so on. So for now, we can download the OLTP, Online Transaction Processing Database backup file. So once the download is completed, it will locate on your download folder. The next step is I recommend copy this file to your root directory of another drive, like a C drive or D drive on your Windows server, a Windows machine, because the SQL Server account likely will not have access to your download folder. So when you try to follow the step down here, you will not be able to read the backup file. So the next step, from the download folder, copy that file or cut that file. Okay, cut that file. Then go to your root of your C drive. You can paste it in one of the folder. Usually more people create a temp folder. I recommend to create a temp folder here. So okay, I'm going to delete it so you have to create a temp folder. So here you right click on this, click new. Then you go back to your download folder. Okay, this file right here, cut it or copy it. Then go back to the temp folder. Then paste it in here. Next step is launch your SQL Server Management Studio or SSMS application. If you have not installed this application, then you can go to search engine and search for SSMS, download and install it. You need to connect to the SQL Server instance. So click View, Object Explorer, click on the connect icon here, and it will pop up. It will remember whatever instance, SQL Server instance you connected to. If you don't see anything here, you go to Browse, click on Local Machine, and will display all the SQL Server instance that are installed on your local computer or virtual machine. If you have a SQL Server instance installed somewhere else in the network, and it configured to make it visible, and you can go to the Network tab. So I will select Test Instance. Then I select Windows Authentication. You can select some other option down here as well, like SQL Server Login, supply username and password. But for now, I will use Windows Authentication. Then in here, you select Encryption in mandatory. If you select mandatory, then select on the checkbox, click Connect. In here, right click on the database. So right now you see the Adventurework database not there yet. So right click on the database, click Restore Database. You want to select Device, click on the 3 dot. Here, click Add. Now, over here, scroll all the way to the bottom, select the temp folder. There is the backup file right there. Click OK. Click OK. And let's expand it out. You can see, you can set everything by default, fine, no big deal. And click OK to restore. Give it a moment. All right, successfully. There you go. Right now, Adventurework is install or attach or restore to your SQL Server instance. You expand it out, you see the table. You see a bunch of tables like customer, order, and they have a different schema like sales schema. They have person schema, human resource schema, and they also have some view for you too. Then under program, you should see some store procedure, and I believe they also have some function as well. There. All right, that is all the steps for how to attach or install or restore the Adventureworks sample database to your SQL Server instance. The next step, we will learn how to query the table, and we can learn how to insert, update, delete, truncate, and so on.